Hey, Tap to Craft listeners, this is Denny again, and I'm just going to do another quick take. And by the way, I'm doing this one just right after I did the first one because I enjoyed it, and I don't have a lot of time to do these during my normal week, and I happen to have today off. So why not take the day off, enjoy some March Madness basketball tournament, and drink some beer and do some of these quick take video reviews for you on North Coast Brewing beer. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to highlight some North Coast Brewing beers. It's a brewery that has been around for a long time. I think they get overlooked in a lot of cases. And if you're in the distribution area of where they distribute, I recommend you go out and try these beers because they don't make a bad beer. All their beers are done really well. And that's why we're going to highlight it. So again, North Coast Brewing out of Fort Bragg, California. Their slogan is making the world a better place, one beer at a time. Who couldn't enjoy that slogan? All right, so the first episode I did was on the Pilsner. Now I'm going to go from one extreme of the spectrum of styles all the way to the most extreme on the other side. Yes, we're going to talk about Old Rasputin's Russian Imperial Stout. Now, it just so happens later tonight, I will be recording with Chris, and the episode 174 is going to be covering the Russian Imperial Stout, the history of the style, and a little bit of style notes. So I'm not going to go too deep into the style here. If you want to find out more about Russian Imperial Stouts, please listen to episode 174, which will be talking about Russian Imperial Stouts. Now, Old Rasputin is it's got to be one of my favorite Russian Imperial Stouts. I'm a huge fan of the style. And to give away a little bit of a secret, the Russian Imperial Stout is just another name for Imperial Stout. There's really no real style, but it has a history behind why it's called Russian Imperial Stout. So again, watch or listen to the show or watch it on YouTube to find out more about that history. So in episode 9, John and I, we did do some tasting notes on this beer. So if you want to find some more in-depth discussion on the tasting notes of Old Rasputin, please go back and listen to episode 9, way back in 2014, one of our early episodes. We do some tasting notes along with some cellaring tips on how to cellar your craft beer. And again, Russian Imperial Stouts is a good cellaring beer. It's able to actually cellar for quite a while because it's a big higher alcohol beer, and so go listen to that for those tips. You can find all these episodes of Tap to Craft podcast either from our website at taptocraft.com or on your favorite podcast app. All right, so now let's go into Old Rasputin. So it's produced in the tradition of the 18th century English brewers who supplied the court of Russia's Catherine the Great. Old Rasputin seems to develop a cult following wherever it goes. It's a rich, intense brew with big, complex flavors and a warming finish. Warming finish is probably accurate, right? Because it's a big stout, and it's going to have a lot of alcohol in there, and it's going to give you a little bit of warming feeling as you drink it. Now, we're still kind of right now. It's March. Mid-March, almost 2/3 of the way through March. So the weather is starting to become spring-like. So people are probably going to, wonder, why am I talking about a Russian Imperial Stout during, a time when it's getting warm? Well, because you can drink stouts anytime. I know a lot of people enjoy drinking their big, heavy alcohol, high alcohol, thicker, roastier beers in wintertime because it's cold and it just seems like, I'm going to warm myself up. But I drink stouts all year round. I love the stout style. I love the Russian Imperial Stout style. So why not drink it all the time? And that's what I'm trying to do here, is that even though it's getting March, April time frame, it's never too late to enjoy a good stout. All right, so as you can see in the can here, the Old Rasputin brand image is a drawing of Rasputin with the phrase in Russian encircling it, "A sincere friend is not born instantly." Key. So this is a Russian Imperial Stout. Let me go ahead and open this beer up, and we'll start to talk about some of the characteristics of it. And again, I'm pouring this into one of my B cups. Now, B cups is if you listen to our early shows, or actually mid shows, we were sponsored by B cups out of fermentedreality.com. And they provide plastic cups that are dishwasher safe and very sturdy and are very good. They're very good cups to take outside with you. If you want to go hiking, you want to go on the boat, camping, you don't want to bring glass that can break, you want something that's durable. These glasses are very good for that. And they come in 4 different styles. I showed you the Pilsner style last time. Now I'm going to show you the Stout style, which has a narrow bottom and a little bit of a bulbish top to it. They also have an IPA style, and they have a sour or a funky style. This funky style is similar to this, but it comes into more of a triangular top. And I love these glasses, and Chris loves these glasses too. He's being in Tampa, where Chris is. He's always outside on the beach, on the boat, wanting to drink beer, but not wanting to drink it out of the can. And these are great for that. So I recommend you can find them on Amazon, or you can just go to fermentedreality.com and check them out there and buy a variety pack, which is what Chris and I did. We bought a pack of 8 and we split them into 2. And I have 4 of the different styles. He has 4. Plus I have several other boxes of 4. So I have a 4 set of IPA glasses and a 4 set of I don't know what the other 4 set I have. I think funky glasses for sours. So, all right, let's go ahead and pour this beer. Again, I'm going to pour this beer at a 45-degree angle. I want it to pour in there with a little head at first so it doesn't over foam. And then as I get towards the top, I'll go ahead and I'll flatten it out or straighten it out and then pour a little bit harder to generate that nice head on top. And that's exactly what you want to see when you pour your beers, is you want to have, you don't want to have a whole thing ahead. Now, if you do watch or listen to us, you know that sometimes I get a little crazy. As I'm talking on the podcast and I'm pouring my beers, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Before you know it, I'm either overflowing my beer or it's all head and just a little bit of beer. But on these videos, it's nice to see that I can talk and pour and still get you a very nice looking presentable beer. Now, as you can see, Old Rasputin, being a Russian Imperial Stout, is black. I mean, you cannot see through that at all. There is no light coming through this. Opaque, black. It has a kind of a coffee or cappuccino color head. Very nice thick there. I got about 3/4 of an inch head. And it's got a combination of dense and fine bubbles, which is nice. I like the fact that it has both. The fine means it's going to have a creamy head feel. The coarse just means it's just a little bit, rougher. You can kind of see here on the side, it's got a little bit more rougher. It gives it, it's not so compact. Typical pour here. Now, one thing to mention too is this one, I poured a little bit cooler. It came out of my fridge. I let it sit out for about 10 minutes before I started the video. But even that in a 16-ounce can is not enough to really warm it up to the tasting where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, right? As it warms up, you're going to get a lot more flavors out. For one thing, you put anything cold into your mouth, what's going to happen is your taste buds are going to retract in. They're going to be like, woo, you just froze me out. I'm going to go ahead and hibernate a little bit. And when they hibernate, you're not tasting as much. So that's one thing. The other thing is, as it warms up, they start to, the carbonation is going to bring them up, and it's going to start releasing more of the aroma, and more character comes out of the beer. And as you taste it, it's always good to drink your beer out of a glass because guess what? This nose, as you put your mouth up to it, your nose is in this. A good portion of your taste comes from your nose. So if you don't have your nose bringing in that extra flavor through the smell, you're going to miss out on a lot. So as you can tell, you might be able to see a little bit of condensation on the cup. The glass, this beer isn't as warm as I'd like it, but I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a tasting notes on this just based off the cold. Keep in mind, if you drink it cold, you're going to miss out on some of those rich flavors you're going to get. Some of the deep chocolate and some of that malt character, that coffee aroma, coffee flavors and stuff in there. So it's black. This beer is 9% ABV, 9% alcohol. So it's It's right at the lower limit of the Imperial Stout, where I think the Imperial Stout is like 9 to 14 or 12 or something like that. I think it's 14. I can't remember, but it's at the lower end. But still, 9% is a strong beer, and I could have swore this beer before was like 10%, but I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was never 10, but it felt like it was always 10. But this one's 9. IBUs, the International Bittering Units, 75 IBUs. So with stouts, the reason to get that alcohol up to the high enough level, you have to put a lot of malt sugars in there, right? So the beer is going to have a lot of sugar and make it sweet. And sweet beers are hard to drink. And also, sweet beers tend to make that alcohol burn and booziness much more stronger. So to counteract that, you put in hops, right? Hops are going to bitter that sweetness down, give you kind of balance out that massive amount of sweetness that's coming from the malts with the hops, with the bitterness, and now you're going to have a nice mellow beer. Now, are you going to be able to taste that bitterness? Yeah, you will a little bit. And a lot of people don't like stouts that are more bitter. But let's see. Let me go ahead and take a nose hit off of this beer real quick. Okay, so right off the bat, I can smell the dark roasted malt, a little bit of that chocolate coming through, and a little bit of coffee. Now, there's no coffee out of this beer. The coffee notes are coming from those roasted malts, and it does have a nice little, malty coffee, like espresso notes to it in the aroma. And you can see the head is still lasting quite a while. I still have a half an inch of head, and we've been talking for probably 5-10 minutes. The longer a head lasts means there's a lot stronger proteins in there holding the head together, and that's always a good thing too if the head lasts a long time. Also, as I drink it, if you see that the head sticks to the side of the glass, that means it's got legs. And again, it means it has a lot of good stuff in this beer that makes it a good quality craft beer. All right, I'm taking a sip now. Damn, I love this beer. Let me wipe my mustache off here. Again, right off the bat, you're gonna get a strong hit off of the dark roasted malts and the bitterness in the hops. The bitterness comes in a lot more towards the finish of it, but you do get some of that roastiness, some of that, I don't want to say ashy or anything, but you can taste that it's definitely not smoky, but maybe like a burnt character of that dark roast malt. So it comes across kind of strong up front with the maybe the dark chocolate, like 99% dark chocolate with a little bit of that espresso, maybe the burnt espresso bean type character, and then it falls through with some of the hops that they're put in there. You get that hop bitterness at the finish that kind of carries that burn, that kind of burnt bitterness up front with the malts into the finish with the hops as well. Yeah, that's good. So you can see it does have a little bit of legs that stick on there with the foam there. Okay, so this is also one of those non-GMO beers. So this beer is produced strictly with non-genetically modified materials. All their malts and hops are natural, organic. Okay, let's go over, before I close this out, I want to go over some of the medals and awards that this beer has won. So for gold medals, in the World Beer Championships in Chicago, from 96 to 99, it won the gold medal. From 2004 to 2006, it won a gold medal. And from 2014 and in 2018, it won a gold medal at that festival. That's a lot of medals right there. In the Stockholm Beer and Whiskey Festival in 2006 and 2012, it won a gold medal. In the Great American Beer Festival, here held in Denver, in the Imperial Stout category, in 1999 and 2002, it won gold medal. And in the World Cup, or World Beer Cup, it won in 96 for the Imperial Stout category. And again, as I mentioned earlier, Russian Imperial Stout, same beer. Just has a name that has history behind it for the Russian. Oh, I don't, you know what? I don't even have any silver medals. So I don't even know if they won silvers in anything, but it's okay. It's a gold medal winner. And this beer right here is one that I can't recommend highly enough for the style. If you want something deep, malty, with a lot of dark malt character, that has a good alcohol content, and I'll be honest with you, even though it's 9%, you don't feel the alcohol, right? There's no booziness. It doesn't feel like you're drinking a high alcohol. It's definitely bitter in the front, bitter in the finish. I think that bitterness helps mellow out that alcohol content. So this is a Tap the Craft recommended Russian Imperial Stout. So listen to episode 174, find out more about the history of the Russian Imperial Stout, and cheers.